All right, welcome to the Smeggie Cave. How's it going, everybody? And by everybody, I mean nobody, because I don't think anybody's watching this. But if you're watching in the future, then hello. But right now, I'm talking to nobody. So hopefully some people jump in, because you guys all know I do not do good talking to myself. I don't know how some of these other guys can do a full thing like G Webs or Yankee or Matt or any of the other people. They just ramble, and they're good at it. I ramble and it sounds dumb. Oh my goodness. Well, it shows 0, so DJ must be super secret ninja mode saying I'm wrong, that nobody's watching. Oh, now it says one person's watching. Well, at the time I started, it said 0 people, so you should join in because then I can talk to you and it will be fun. So I emailed a handful of people. I don't have like tons of people's emails, so I just emailed a few people that I know that are in my contacts. I don't know if they'll jump in. I mean, it's the middle of the afternoon. Even on the East Coast, it's the afternoon still, but definitely on the West Coast. And anyway, so I don't know if they'll join in. It'd be cool if they do. He said, whatever. At least I got Scott watching also. So DJ and Scott. How's it going, guys? Oh, I should turn my camera on. Everyone likes to see the doggies. So there you go. There's the one doggy. And then here's the other one, obsessed with his toy. So pretty nice day out today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's definitely comfortable to sit outside. Sun's out, a little bit of clouds, not too much, you know. Feels pretty warm in the sun. Oh, Amico Joe, all right. It's a party up in here. Oh, I see DJ saying just woke up. Okay, well, whatever. You can still jump in. Here, I'll even post the link again. Post, click. There we go. So now people can join in and say hello. Even people that have never been in a podcast before, maybe been watching people for a long time, and you think it's magic. Trust me, the Smeggie Cave is the perfect place to figure out if your mic's messed up, if your headphones don't work, like get the feel of how to push the button to mute and unmute, which is important. Don't just leave your mic hot all the time when other people are talking, you get feedback. But anyways, this is the perfect place to play around and join in. See, I told you I was bad at doing this by myself. I've already don't have anything to talk about. Part of my problem is I was just bored this afternoon. So it's not like I have any pressing issues that I really need to get off my mind. I know most people, at least like content creator type people, they're probably taking it easy this weekend before SHOT Show. Maybe they're traveling, especially if people are driving. They probably left today and then they'll kind of hang out. Maybe it takes a couple days to drive there. They'll be hanging out in Vegas for a little bit. That's really like the way to go. I've only been to SHOT Show once. I guess we'll talk about SHOT Show now. Um, anyways, I've been to SHOT Show once, and it was a fun experience. If any of you guys watched G Web's video the other day, he was talking about getting ready for SHOT and just kind of reflecting on all the past shows. And I jumped in for a little bit, so I might be repeating myself, but no one's jumping in yet. Come on, guys, you can do it. Anyways, yeah, that was definitely the way to go. I traveled in. Trying to remember now. I think I flew in Saturday night. I might have even did I do a red eye? No, I did a red eye on the way home. well, not even home. I was actually out of town for work, and I like took a week off and left from out of town to Vegas and then back. Um, I was over in South Carolina. Yeah, see, let me try and remember. I can picture I was in the dinky little airport because it's a small little town, and then I went from the dinky little airport to Atlanta, which is obviously like a huge one, and then left from there. But I I know it was dark out when I was at the airport, but maybe I left super early in the morning. Did I leave Saturday morning? I might have. Gosh, this is great television because I don't even remember. But I know I got there before because range day was on Monday, and I was going to like media day at the range. Or no, there was something before. Yeah, because there was another shoot the Sunday before, and I forget who was sponsoring that. It was at like a different range just outside Vegas. We got invites to that, so I must have came in on Saturday, and I think it was morning. So most of the morning was like traveling or whatever. And with the time change, I probably landed in Vegas at whatever noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. But yeah, that's right. And then we got the house all situated because I sharing a house with a couple of people, which like Airbnb, like that's the way to go in Vegas. I don't remember the exact numbers, as you can tell. I obviously don't have good memories. But I want to say for like the whole week, it was only a few $100, maybe 500, something like that. I mean, that even sounds too much. Shit, I don't remember. I remember whatever it was like for my portion of it per day was way cheaper than trying to get a hotel room. Because I feel like hotel rooms, even if you go to like kind of weird ones or whatever, they're at least $100 a night. So it had to have been less than 500 total. God, I wish I remembered. Anyways, I play any, but I'm not a huge gambler. Um, I have a feeling that I played a little bit. Actually, I know I did when, yeah, because we met up with some other people and we went to do like a breakfast brunch buffet kind of thing, and that was at like a different casino. And we went there and ate, and then I played a little bit in that casino, but not much. I'm the type of person, if I'm go to a casino or even like in Vegas or anywhere else, I'm gonna take $100 or something and just say, okay, this is the money I planned on spending. Like it's just you'd spend $100 if you went out for a night on the town or whatever. So that's the same kind of thing. If I get a few hours of entertainment out of it, then it's worth it. And I'll just play a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. I tend to kind of break even, if not like maybe be down $10 or something. So it's like I have a certain amount that I'm willing to. Okay, this is all I'm spending, and I'll start with that, and then maybe I win, and then if I do, like I tend to take like whatever I won, and then I only gamble with that. Like if I had $100, I turn it into 200. I'm gonna take that first 100, put it like back in my wallet, and now I only have 100 to play with. So the worst I can do is be zero, and with that other hundred's gone, then I'm done. I don't go back into the wallet. Um, but anyways, that's my gambling habits. All right, New York Outcast, how's it going? Oh, okay, you're calling BS. I see how it is. No, I am made of magic snow. In fact, I'll have you know that this snow that the snowman is in my picture was legitimately made in like the near the end of summer in Michigan. Those are true statements. I am not lying. That snowman was made when it was hot outside with snow in Michigan. Therefore, it must be magic snow. Now that part might not necessarily be absolutely true, but the first parts were definitely facts. I may be leaving some parts out, and that's fine. But I'm gonna go with I'm Magic Snow. I've been lasting for years and years and years. So if this is the year I was supposed to melt compared to all the other years, like I don't see it. Oh, yeah, sorry for these breaks, but I can't talk a whole bunch without like taking something to drink or whatever. So you guys are just gonna have to live with it. No, Roy, I can't talk all the time. Don't bark at me. Don't yell at me. Even my dog's upset. But no, I have to take a break for a minute, take a sip. I'm drinking Mountain Dew Code Red. Ew. My dog's got, oh, he just knocked it off. My dog had this big slimy thing hanging from his mouth. All right, I'll get the camera back on. Yep, magic. All right, DJ's saying when I'm in Vegas, the money seems to flow. Like almost every environment saturated with money going out. And I have a weirdly over generous. That cut off or something. But anyways, yeah, I definitely understand that. I'm pretty good at having, like a discipline, I guess would be, right? Like I'd say, okay, this is what I'm going to spend. Now, have I maybe lost all my money and popped out another 20? Like I probably broke the rules every once in a while, but I'm pretty darn good. Yeah, that can work too. Just give your money to someone else to do it for you if they're more lucky. I'm not lucky at all. So, oh, I have a guest. Maddie. Is that one of you people's? So I'm not letting in random people again after that last time. So say in the chat if that's one of you people's. Because I did ask for you guys to let me in. Okay, the person's saying hello. Well, even if it is one of you guys, I don't want to talk to someone who doesn't say hello, but they say hello. LOL. And English be nice. Well, okay, if you're English, like from England or whatever, well, screw you guys, 1776. What do you know about the Second Amendment? I hope that's not one of someone who actually wants to talk to me, but I don't recognize you, and I've been burned before, so I don't let randos in. Anyway, all right, what the hell are you guys talking about? Blah blah blah, gambling, hot tubs, no cigars, blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm not a huge, like I said, not a huge gambler. Oh, you used to be a dealer? Oh, you dealt from 6 to 8. You used to make bank. Oh wait, you were talking about other stuff. Oh, I was thinking like a blackjack dealer or something. I think you're talking about something different. So, anyways, like I said, when I'm at shot, like it was more about going to the show. It wasn't about being in Vegas. So I get past the first day. Yeah, I came in on Saturday, and then on Sunday went to the shoot that I forget who sponsored it. It was some like smaller dealer. They had a lot of different stuff. Oh, you did use deal poker. Okay, so I see what you're talking about. That's good. Um, anyway, then Monday was the industry shoot, which that was fun. Got to go through all sorts of different random things. The English guy left. Okie dokie. I mean, you're gonna come into my chat and then be like, "Rar, hello, I'm English," and then I'm like, "Fuck you, 1776," and then he's all like, "Well, it was England versus England, so why should either of us care?" Well, because we won. We're if even if we were English, like we're the good English one, and you're the bad English part. And then he just wandered off, so that's fine. It definitely is dangerous having a link out there for anyone to see, but I need people to talk to because I'm bored. I need friends. And you guys are talking still about casinos and poker and blah blah blah, and I don't care much about that. Yeah, exactly. New York outcast. I don't trust the crowd. I would trust you guys. Oh, and Kingpin, what's up? Um, because at least like even if I haven't talked with any of you guys like in a chat thing, I've talked with you like commenting and whatnot. Like I at least kind of know who you guys are, right? I mean, I wouldn't say it's the same as like whatever people you know in real life versus people you know from like podcasts versus like commenters, but it's like of the tiers of friends, like I at least know you guys exist, not some rando English person. But oh shit! Speaking of randos, potatoes. Everyone, he's saying, "Oh, I'm alive. I haven't seen you in forever." So here, let me go to post comment, and I'm gonna go to here. I'm gonna go to here. I'm gonna go to that. Then you guys are gonna see the link, and then you guys are gonna jump in because you guys know how to talk. Because I know you guys know how to talk. So jump in and talk, and then it won't just be me rambling. You can talk about the Second Amendment or guns or whatever. So, and yeah, I'm alive. I don't jump on as much anymore. You know, quite frankly, the only chats I've joined like recently, even in the past months, have been G Webs, and part of that is just because I kind of got burned out doing like, well, even hit or miss, but like match chat and stuff like that. When it would like just be talking about like politics and stuff, which I know are important, right? I mean, the Second Amendment is a political issue and stuff, but it just, I don't know. It's kind of like I know enough like to know kind of what's going on, but I know that I don't know a bunch. So it's like, why am I talking about Nancy Pelosi or something? Like, I don't know much about her. I mean, she's evil or whatever, but I don't know enough to be like, well, in this bill, blah blah blah. Now, Second Amendment oriented stuff, like when I did the 2A roundups every month for Every Second Matters, which I need to start doing those again. I know you guys have been missing them, so I should really start doing them again. But like those, I'll dig in deep and nerd out about. But I just kind of got burned out of hearing blah blah blah. Those guys are the bad guys. We're the good guys. Like over and over and over again. Exactly, Kingpin. That's kind of what like, that's how I felt. It's like you know a bunch of amateurs talking about something. Which hey, more power to you. Obviously, you're allowed to do that. Hey, Roy. Sorry, my dog was digging in the backyard. I don't know how loud that was that I yelled. I meant to hit mute, and I forgot to. But anyways, so like if when Gun Channels was at its peak and we were having chats with people, the ones I always enjoyed the most were the people that like really knew about some topic, were like super geeked out about it. And even if I didn't know much about it, I enjoyed talking to them, even if I'm asking like the simple questions, because they really know a lot. An example would be like talking to Foose about reloading or Sean Ponery. Like those guys can get in the weeds. Travis and oh my god, who else am I thinking of? There was one other dude that used to always like talk about reloading, and he really dig in deep on like the details and stuff. That was really entertaining to me. Talking to G Wubs about AKs, like that's really entertaining because he knows what he's talking about. So those were always the most fun chats, and I learned so much more about guns because I was didn't grow up a huge like gun guy. Like my dad had a couple guns when I was a kid. He got me into it, but he's not a huge gun guy. Like you'd almost he's probably a FUD to be honest. I mean I've gotten him to come around. We've built an AR together, so like he can understand and appreciate that style of firearm as well. Like he's likes it, and I definitely talked to him more about the Second Amendment and stuff. But at first, like he had a 22 pistol because it was fun to shoot soup cans, and then he has a lever action 30-30 that was his dad's, and he used that hunting. And then he had a 12 gauge, which was yeah, that was his dad's as well. And that actually that 12 gauge, so it was a pump shotgun. It just said Sears on it, so it was a Sears 12 gauge shotgun, and it was given to my grandpa from James Earl Jones's grandpa because they grew up in northern Michigan. James Earl Jones's grandfather lived in northern Michigan, and they used to shoot crows in the field for like a nickel each or something. Like I don't know the price, but like whatever. Well, anyways, after one summer, they would use the shotgun that the James Earl Jones's grandfather owned. And at the end of the summer, they had shot so many of them that instead of paying the kids in cash, he just gave them the shotgun. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, okay, so that's what he had. And then since then, like I said, I've gotten him better, and he's more of a gun guy. So the point of that being is, I always supported the Second Amendment. Like I understood the principles of it, and early on, like I was kind of libertarian. I just didn't know it yet. Like when I was first growing up, like let's say like middle school or just getting into high school, like I thought I was a Republican because the talking points of Republicans are like less government spending and blah blah blah. And then as I got older, I realized they just meant different government spending. That like they still want big government too, just a different way. And then I found out what libertarians were, and I'm like, oh, this is the best of both worlds. They're more conservative than Republicans and more liberal than Democrats. Like that's perfect. And so then I really started looking into the Second Amendment and all that stuff. And then God, it wasn't until after. Well, I take it back. I had a shotgun when I was in high school. My dad bought me one. But then it wasn't until after college that I even bought my first handgun. And then I was off to the races after that point. And then I started watching all the stuff on YouTube, watching the guys like G Webs and Yankee and Never Enough Ammo. And like, it was kind of that era of all the chats, and everyone was always in everyone else's. So like that whole little group. And then gun channels became a thing, and I jumped in on that. And even then, like I joined up, but I didn't go into the chats all that often. And slowly started jumping into the chat, started my own channel, and haven't looked back. But that's the point being is that in those chats with other like gun channels people, they know way more than what I ever did. So I learned a bunch. And that's the type of stuff I really enjoy talking about. And then from that, of having, like internet buddies, like people you've talked to either in like a weekly podcast or even when the lobbies were cruising, just BSing about whatever, then I started meeting them in real life. Went to the NRA show a couple of years, went to SHOT Show, another NRA, like good gun rights policy conference, like, and each one of those, I'd always end up meeting up with new gun channels members that I hadn't met yet, or the people that I already knew. So, all right. During the golden years of 2A, I don't know if it was the golden years of 2A, right? I mean, it was the early 2000s through now, right? So we definitely had some good stuff going on. I think the 2A has been getting better and better, like as a whole, like generally speaking, right? We have way more constitutional carry. There's like way more, shall issue states and stuff like that as far as carry permits. Some restrictions are knocked down, but also on the state level, like there's just been more and more stuff that's jumped in, magazine bans and assault weapons bans and background checks and waiting periods and stuff. So I think if you add them all up, like the Pro 2A is winning, but it hasn't been a landslide. It's take 2 steps forward, 1 back, maybe 1.5 steps forward, 1 back. Like it's, you know, I do like the direction we're going. I think we'll continue to push that way. I will continue to fight and push that way. But I don't know if everyone else will. It comes and goes. Definitely when you got someone like Obama that's like, oh, I'm doing this, that, or the other. Bunch of people screaming, yelling, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, you have tons of Second Amendment advocates and tons of people doing grassroots stuff, and it's awesome. And then you have someone like, Trump wins, and 80% of those people like hang their boots up, go, okay, well, I guess we win now. And then even there, we get bump stock bans and what else? The brace stuff, and the other thing, like, but no one really cared because it was like their dude, and that's where again I don't like the politics part. Like I don't care. Okay, I don't know what that is, but let's do that. Okay. I don't know what Pesca Zumpiki is. What's up, Vanessa? Where's it going with that? I don't remember. Oh, I think I was going with that. Was that I got super way more motivated and into the Second Amendment, and I learned way more knowledge about guns by chatting with people online. Therefore, you guys should click the link that's in the chat and join in and come chat with me. That must be where I was going with that. Yeah, I figured. Okay, so I want to scroll back up in the comments because I'll be honest, I only half read them, and you guys are talking about Discord and stuff, which I have opinions about that. So, get burned out. Okay, again. All right, rando English dude. I'll start with there. Most people talking don't know anything either. Okay. Burned out in some of this stuff myself, and some kids I honestly don't care. Not that I don't care about the issue, but like talking makes a difference. Some kids, yeah, exactly. It's just if you keep hearing or saying the same things over and over and over again, eventually you're just like, yeah, all right, whatever. Now, I do think talking about it is important. Maybe not necessarily talking about the same thing over and over again with the same people, but sometimes it is because it's like practicing, right? Like if you're sparring for boxing, oh, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, that's because you're getting better at doing a certain thing, and then when you need it in a fight, you're good at it. So like you can hone your arguments and stuff like that. But the other part of it is I talk with random people all the time just to push them in the general direction because I think a lot of people you have the super duper anti guns. You're not going to change their mind. They're paid by Bloomberg, whatever. You have the super duper pro gun. Those guys are awesome. They're my best friends, but I don't need to talk to them because they already know. Like I preach to the choir. But then you have a bunch of other people that aren't pro or anti, or even if they are anti, it's because they never even thought about it. So they're just like, well, yeah, okay, it sounds scary, so I guess yeah, ban them or whatever. And those are the people that you can get changed because if you work with them or whatever, then you're talking with them and it's like they realize, oh, I only watch CNN or whatever, and I thought the 2A people were like the crazy people on some Alex Jones forum or something, and they'd be like, but you're a normal person, but you're also 2A. So then I think that helps, and that's why talking about it is important. The other thing is talking about if you and one other person are talking, you might even not change their mind, but there are 3 or 4 people listening. You could change their mind. They might not even say anything. They just hear it. So that's why, like, just out and about, I talk about it, whatever. I don't care because maybe it's the dude who's walking past in the street and he only hears a snippet of it, and something I say makes him go look something up. Like, even if they think, oh, that guy said this, blah, 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 he must be wrong. He's an idiot. I'm going to look it up. And they look it up and go, oh, no shit, he was right. Interesting. And if they're honest with themselves as far as wanting to know the truth, then they'll change their mind. All right. So, anyways, blah blah blah. If I haven't watched daily news and television, yeah, exactly. Uh, I don't talk to anybody anymore except a few in Discord. Okay. I don't even know how to use StreamYard or whatever you guys use. So potatoes, StreamYard's super easy. You click the link and then you click join and then you go la 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 la, and then it works. And there's a little button on the bottom that says, "Hey, Kingpin, I know him. Adds a stream." There we go.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for joining. You are way better than potatoes.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Actually, I've never heard that before, but it was funny.
Okay, but I did want to kind of get into this Discord thing. So DJ saying, yeah, potatoes not hard to pick up on. Discord chatting is actually more difficult. I don't think it is either. Okay, those guys are all. I don't know. Anyway, so my thing with Discord is just that like I do like it, right? You can set up your little channel, and a bunch of people can join into it, and you can have different topics. Like it's almost like like a live forum kind of thing. You have different topics, and people type, and then you can also put up like a voice chat thing, and people can join in and they can talk. So I actually do like that setup, and I've seen what Sean Ponery's been doing because he has a Discord thing, and it's cool. And people jump in during the day while they're at work and they talk or whatever. The thing I don't like about it is like you have to find the link and get invited like into the Discord, and it's not like recorded anywhere. So for hanging out and just bullshitting, it's cool, and I do not mind. And I even like the idea. I always thought we should have even had a gun channels Discord back in the day, and then each member, like you could set up a thing for each member could have their own channel, and then they could make their own chat and be the moderator of it or whatever. And it would basically be the same thing that gun channels was as a website, just inside Discord. So I kind of like that idea if everyone had their own little corner, but you also have to have a a gatekeeper to get into the thing. And that's the part I don't like, which is why I'd rather just BS on YouTube because random people can stumble along. And if they're not those weird English dude, they might actually like jump in and then become buddies of mine. What's your opinion on Discord, Kingpin?
I've never used it before. I know when gun channels went away, a lot of people were promoting "Let's go over to Discord," and I think I opened the website once, and that's it.
Oops. Oh, happy Friday, John. I didn't even mean to select your comment. So you win the me picking up my phone prize. Hey, we got a bunch of people watching now. I'll jump on in. So yeah, like I said, I don't use Discord a bunch. About that, honestly, the most I use it for is I play these couple of games on my phone that are like, they're definitely pay to win kind of games, but I just like do the free version of it. You build a little army and then you make a kingdom, and then like you and all your friends go attack the other kingdom or whatever. But it's one of those things. Each like round lasts like 3 to 6 months. So you join in, you start building these villages or whatever, and you're gonna be playing the same like people for 6 months, and it's you build a thing and then it takes 5 hours to build the thing. So you click it once in the morning and then you check back at night before you go to bed, and that's it. And they all use Discord to plan like when to send the attacks and get everyone on the same like at the same time or whatever. And honestly, I use Discord more for that than I do for chatting. Although I can understand like the potential that chatting would have if you just want to hang out with your buddies. Like if you just want to talk with your buddies, then it's perfect.
Yeah, I played one of those build your town type of video games. I had never played one before, so I loaded it up on my phone. And I built my farm and built my barn and hired a few people and spent like 2 or 3 hours playing this game. And then I turned it off and went to sleep. And when I woke up that morning, somebody raided me and killed every one of my people and burnt my entire thing to the ground. I didn't know that that was a thing. So all the work I put in, I didn't set up a guard to watch it overnight. And some people came in and killed everybody and burnt my village to the ground.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this game's like. But that's why you end up joining up as a team. So if someone comes to your village and burns everything to the ground, then you get 5 of your buddies to go burn their village down. So it's fun. I don't even remember what it's called. Some weird name, Trava dividends or some shit. But anyways, that's what I use Discord for. Um, so you're asking about what rifles in my thumbnail. That's my AR-15 that I put together. That's an older version of it too. I've added a lot of different stuff to it since then. So that's the first AR that I. Well, no, it's the second AR that I put together. The first one I put together was for somebody else, and they were kind of showing me how to do it, and I was helping them. So then that way, the second one that I built was for me, and I did it with that same person. And then the third one I built was me and my dad, and that was for my dad. But the one in the picture is mine from like I think that was even the first night. Like once it was all put together, I popped it up on the kitchen table and took a picture of it. So, but that's kind of one of the things I like about the AR is being able to change it as you change your mind. Like, yeah, you could just put a different one together if you want to have. Well, this is going to be the one I use for this thing, and this will be the one I use for that thing. Or if you don't have to switch like every 2 seconds, you could build it up as like a long range thing with put like a real nice stock on it. It's like nice and sturdy, and like do all this stuff. And then you'd be like, all right, now I want like a lightweight one. You take all that stuff off and you put some lightweight crap on it. Then you run around with that for a few months or whatever. Like you can take it apart and put it back together many times as you want. And I will say this: the best upgrade I ever did to my AR was changing out the trigger. I went with the ALG trigger. It's like I forget what the heck they call it. It's just like their basic one. And I'm trying to think. I want to say it's like $50 or something. Maybe not even that. And the improvement like that compared to the stock trigger is like whatever 500 times better for $50. And then I'm sure if you got like the super expensive fancy ones that are like $200-300, they might be like twice as good as that one. But it's like you get that huge jump by just spending a little bit of money, and then everything above that, like you get a little bit better for a lot more money. So I think it's a perfect like compromise. That thing is so smooth. It's so nice.
Do you get to spend any decent amount of time in a range? I know you work real, and your work situation's pretty not normal from what I understand. But so do you get any range time in?
No, I I've not been to the range in quite some time. Part of the thing is that I don't have most of my stuff with me here, so I'd have to fly back to a different state just to get to my guns. And then, like, yeah, I'm so busy that I don't really have much time. Probably if I had them here, I probably would go. I don't even know, maybe once every few months or something. But there's not even much. There's not many ranges even around here, and especially like I get spoiled having a private range, like on my property up north that I built, which I don't want to see. It's on my Instagram, but whatever. So like I got spoiled with that. So now whenever I go to like a place and then it's got like even indoor or outdoor, whatever, it's like this just isn't as fun. Like you, obviously you got to follow the rules. You got to be safe, and I'm safe when I'm by myself up north too. Like I'm not just running around shooting wherever. But I like being able to be like, oh, I'm gonna go change the targets right now on a regular outdoor range. I never got the timing right. Like it always seems like they call a ceasefire right when I was getting into the groove, and then every time like I want to go change my targets, everyone else is all going like in their groove, and I don't want to interrupt them because I don't want to be a jerk. Or if it's one where it's like a time thing, where like every whatever 45 minutes we'll stop for 10 minutes kind of thing. Well, then it always seems by the time I'm really getting going, it's time to stop. And then when I want to go change a target or go do something, I got to sit around and wait for 20 minutes until they call the ceasefire.
Yeah, my range is every 30 minutes on the rifle side.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair to outdoor ranges, like when I've only gone a handful of times, but I've been with like a bunch of other people. We're all just like, taking turns and sharing a couple lanes or whatever. So that's part of the problem too, is like, it's because I'm letting my buddies go first. And then by the time it was my turn, I got 5 minutes. And then the next time they might let me shoot first. So like, I'm not saying it was horrible. And obviously even a bad day at the range is better than a good day at work. So I'm not trying to be too negative. It's just compared to when me and my buddies go up north for shoot a palooza and we can just do whatever we want because there's only two or three of us and we all take turns, we do all the stuff. And just be like, all right, guys, we're gonna stop for a minute. Like, just stop whenever we want. Go change the targets. Go set some stuff up. And what I found I really got into is trying to shoot really tiny things with 22 rifles. That's what I really enjoy doing. Me and my buddy, one day we spent like, I don't even know, like maybe an hour or so, if not more, like setting up a quarter, trying to shoot a quarter with the 22, taking turns, like taking shots at it. And then, okay, we hit that, put a nickel up there, and then put up dime, and like got further and further back and trying to shoot a dime at 100 yards with a 22 rifle. Like, that's just literally, we didn't even use that much ammo. And even if we did, it was 22, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And killed a couple hours worth of time. It was super fun.
Yeah, our range won't let you put like balloon. It's all paper targets, stapled paper targets. If you like hang a balloon, they'll flip out about it. And I get it because there's 10 rows, and if you let everybody hang a balloon, then there's going to be balloons all over the range because 7 of the people won't clean up after themselves.
Right. And I mean, that's why people are all down on like public land shooting. Like you used to there was like a bunch of public land. You just go out there and set some stuff up, shoot, and whatever. Nobody cared. But so many people go out in the middle of the desert and drop a refrigerator, shoot the crap out of it, and then leave it. It's like, this isn't the dump. Like, pick up after yourself. You guys are jerks. So I can understand why a range would have rules, but I'm the type of person that would clean up after myself. So when I go up north, we'll set up weird stuff and shoot it, and then we go and we pick it up and we throw it away. Like, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, there's a spot near where I live where I can walk back, go about a mile down the train tracks into these woods, and it's almost like the little area that I found was made for somebody to shoot at. Probably 15, 20 yards total, so it's not nothing you're going to take a rifle down, maybe a shotgun, mostly handguns though. Plus, it's a long way to walk back the train tracks carrying a bunch of stuff. But you take a trash bag with you. Take a trash bag with you. And most gun people, if you're really a gun person, then you'll probably want to save your shell casings to reload or give to your buddy who reloads or whatever. I just Rob put out a bunch of videos a year or two ago about where he goes and just filth everywhere, and he cleans it all up, thankfully. But yeah, everywhere you go, I mean, there's probably a million videos on YouTube of people saying, "Look what you guys did to the range. You wonder why we're not going to be able to shoot back here next year because you left your refrigerator in the middle of the train tracks."
Well, yeah, there was a place when I was with my ex. Her family had like property in northern Michigan, and it was a working gravel pit. Like, during the week, Monday through Friday, there were front end loaders and dump trucks and stuff in there. And on the weekend, they didn't dig, and you were allowed to go in there and go shooting. But we would always pick up all our stuff as well as everybody else's stuff, and that's the exact example. I mean, it's actually like private land that they had an agreement with the community, like, you guys can come down here and shoot, because that makes for a perfect range, because there was like basically a bowl. You're going down inside a bowl, so whatever direction you shoot, like, there's a giant wall of sand and dirt, so your bullets aren't going anywhere. And then you just kind of set up, like, if there's a couple different groups of people, you guys make sure you're like pointed different directions, obviously, and then you're good to go. But they ended up changing, like, saying we were going to go one time, and there was a thing across the road, and it had a big sign up like, no shooting allowed, trespass, no trespassing, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I guarantee that was from people leaving crap, because the dudes show up Monday morning with their you know dump trucks and their front end loaders or whatever, and they gotta go spend the first half of their day picking up crap. Like, obviously they're not going to let people keep doing that.
I imagine because now the older I get, the more I see signs of like on mailboxes on these big farms around here, and occasionally you'd see no hunting allowed. Thanks anyway. Now it's big bold print. Don't come to my house. You will not be allowed to hunt here. No asking, no hunting. And I'd imagine that it's probably because a bunch of knuckleheads went out and disrespected people's property.
Yeah, probably. Which, I mean, I'm on the side of the dude putting the sign up. Like, it's kind of like that whole, like, you be nice to someone, you get burned. Like, you're not going to be nice to the next guy now. Even if the next guy wasn't going to do anything, you're just like, nah, I've seen this rodeo before, and let a couple guys hunt here, and they left a bunch of whatever empty beer cans or something in the middle of the woods. Like, I don't want to have to go pick up that crap. Outcast is saying the place that he cleaned up in the videos was trashed again.
But that's like you were saying, I mean, you go in there and clean up once, and then you go in there and clean up 100 times, and eventually you get burned out, and you're just like, look, I'm just not going to go back there anymore.
You know, I was just when I clean up after myself, and then whatever was kind of around, like it, but as long as I'm taking out more than I'm bringing in, like I was kind of doing my part and hope that other people would too. So like I never made it to, like I'm gonna pick up every little thing because then I could definitely see getting burnt out by that if you're expecting to like keep it super clean and then it keeps getting messed up. But I'm like, okay, I took one extra bag worth of stuff out. Like it's annoying, but I'll just keep doing that. But like I said, then I built my range up north on at my property, and it's like I haven't looked back since then because that is the way to go. I recommend all of you have ranges in your backyards.
Where I live at now, my range in my backyard would get me probably 30 years in prison. There's an elementary school right out my back door.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea then.
No, but
You, I mean,
there's
you
plenty.
you
There's
guys have
plenty
seen
of
my cameras on. It's not like I got one in my backyard here. Like look at all the houses, right?
you know,
Mine's the yellow house. My neighbor's is the blue house.
right.
You see
And
that? Like,
can you plink 22 back there, or are you like in city limits?
oh no, in the city.
Uh,
And what's really annoying is there is a range that's about maybe about a mile and a half from here, and it's a police only range. And sometimes I'll be sitting out here in the backyard, and I'll just hear pop 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 pop. Pop. I'm just like, you jerks! Like, open it up for the public, man. They're just rubbing it in. They're just showing off that they get to go shooting.
they don't want to open up to the public because then they'll be able to see that how bad of shots they are. That's what.
Yeah, it's a cool little like training facility because I've walked by there before, like taking the dogs out for a walk, and you can kind of see down in there, and it has a range, and then it has a like police dog training area. Like you can see all like they set up all the stuff, like little obstacle courses and stuff, and I've seen them like running German shepherds before. It's pretty cool. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? So I don't know. It's still just I think it's rude. What are you doing, little guy? As soon as we come inside, he gets full of energy. You guys have all seen it. Every time I'm sitting outside, what does that dog do? Sits on the ground by the back door. As soon as I walk in the door, he's jumping all over the other one, biting them, chasing them, getting him to be chased. Like, what are you doing?
My dogs are the same way.
You coming up the stairs? I'm gonna get you. Gonna get you coming up the stairs. The other one's sitting down there, like, oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, gonna get you. All right, you boys want some food? Have an early dinner tonight. There we go. Okay. Feed my dogs. Taste of the Wild, grain-free recipe. It's good stuff. Doesn't have a bunch of like all the crap that like dog chow or whatever would have in it.
Yeah, they say. I've only heard. I haven't actually studied it myself, but it makes sense that like most of your mass production, like canned dog food, is cooked at such a high temperature it kills any kind of minerals or ingredients that are healthy for the dog.
Yeah, I could see that. Or even just like it's just like human food. Like anytime you have like super processed, like whatever, and they're grinding up a bunch of like just the junk pieces, like it's not going to be as good. It'd just be like eating, like giving your dogs Doritos for dinner. Like that's all they're eating. That's probably not good for them. All right, get my phone plugged in now. My battery was dying. I had to come inside. But yeah, we used to do a thing like, oh, I have another guess. Is it a real person? What? How the hell does this guy get in here? That's a real person.
Is it a real person? I
Well,
don't
you're
know.
not English bloke.
Hold on. There we go.
Oh, you're gonna steal my thing? Well, then I'm gonna steal your thing. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Shall not. There, we stole each other's thing.
Well, I'm sure there was a bit more music in there with the "shall not be infringed." Whatever, because
Oh, now you're gonna steal my shall not be infringed.
there was a nice "shall not be infringed" metal piece where he forgot half the words halfway through, but it's still good.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I forgot most of them by now.
Yeah.
But I do remember the chorus. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. How you doing, buddy?
Wasn't it just the Second Amendment and then shout and shall not be infringed? I think that's what it was. Like,
yeah. You did the whole Second Amendment, and then he did the "shall not be infringed" a couple times.
Yeah, because like dot 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 dot, and then like like each line with the different.
It's on one of the you did it like impromptu on one of the hit or miss episodes.
So homework audience, go back and watch every single hit or miss episode, and then comment in here which one it was in.
That's way too long ago. Don't do that.
What, dude? I'm trying to get a bunch of views on the hit or miss, man. Come on.
But it's just not the same without you anymore. Just not the same. So, who we got out there on the YouTube side? My Kojo's out there. DJ Play Nice saying hi to me. It looks like John Z's Steven. You got the New York Outcast. Rob's there. He's like, I got asked to do more work. So much for being finished today. Well, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Well, unless you're like me and you just decide to leave early on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. How about that? But do people really work in California? Be honest.
I do. So yeah.
But be honest, it's just you, right?
No, all the other Midwest transplants do too.
Why would anyone want to move to California? I mean, people are leaving California.
The same reason I did. I'm not happy that it's in California, and I would love to like pick everything up, move it to a different state, and set it down. Like it would definitely be much better work to a different place. But
work, I get it.
You got to do what you got to do, and that's like kind of go back with the people earlier when they were talking about why would anyone move to a place they can't bring their guns and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, it does suck, but I had to make a choice for what I like.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks that you only get visitation rights every time you go back to Michigan.
Oh, right. But every time I do, I always text a bunch of my buddies and be like, all right, let's pick a day. We're going to the range.
So because Smeggie lives in California, he only gets conjugal gun visits, every time he goes to Michigan.
Yeah. And sometimes if it's a short trip, I don't even get a conjugal visit. I just get to see them. But it's still nice at least to see them.
You just get to see him. You can't take him out to play or for a walk.
I get to see him. Hang on. I get to see him. I just don't get to put my finger on the trigger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Uh-huh.
did I tell you that I got an M1 Garand?
Maybe, but that's cool.
Yeah. I also got an M14.
Awesome.
Not a full auto M14, but a Polytech M14.
Oh, well, that's not worth it. It's
Well,
worthless.
actually it's a little better than the Springfield Armory one because it's not a Springfield Armory. So
But you say the Polytech's better?
Polytech's better, yes.
Why is it better?
Because I replaced almost every part on it with surplus M14 parts.
So you got it, and then you replaced all the parts back to like what an original Springfield would be like?
No, well, it depends on what you consider an original Springfield. Are you talking original Springfield Armory before that company stole their name and started using it? If so, yes, the original one, the good one, U.S. Army one, not the the one that's just banking off the name.
So you're saying if you got a Springfield, like a modern Springfield now, because the company is different because it got bought by somebody else,
It's not even the same. It's not even the same place. They just bought the name.
Okay. Do they make the same stuff though? And it's just like worse quality, or did they just buy the name and like they put it on the guns that they designed or whatever?
I would say it's worse quality, and they import guns from Croatia and claim that they're theirs. Like the XD line of handguns that Springfield Armory says are theirs. Those are all the HS 2000 from Croatia that they import.
But then because it's the same company or whatever, then that's why they call it a Springfield. So
No,
when did that happen? That's kind of like you. I was just talking about that the other day about companies buying and selling each other or whatever. Like, how long ago do you have to go back to get a real Springfield?
The real Springfield Armory was a research and development part of the U.S. Army, and then they closed it. And then a company, I think in the 60s or 70s, came along and just took the name. That's how it went.
So you're down on anything Springfield, like since the 60s or whatever.
I mean,
like you don't think any of those guns are good.
I don't have any Springfield guns. Period. I mean, hey, my M1 Garand is a Springfield Armory, but it's the real Springfield Armory 1, and 2, it was made in January of 1944. So it could have been there at D-Day. Most likely it was probably out in the Pacific.
So where'd you get that from? They come back as surplus through the was that the civilian marksman thing or whatever?
Yeah,
you get it through that?
Yeah, I got mine through the civilian marksmanship program because, well, let's be honest. Would you rather pay $12.50 or more for an M1 Garand, or would you rather pay $6.50? Would you rather pay double or triple the price, or would you rather only pay, the single price? Right?
Have you had a chance to stretch it out at all, or have you just shot it at your home range?
I just shot at my home range. I'm not taking it anywhere because no, that's not leaving the home range.
How far can you shoot on your home range? I know I've been there and I've shot there, but I'm trying to remember. Like you could back up to 100 yards, couple hundred yards?
We can back up to about 100 yards if we go from the straight edge of the property. I'm looking at possibly, clearing some more out. It's taken a while to get the funds to hire someone to do it. No, I do it myself, but unfortunately, one man with a chainsaw can only do so much.
Yeah,
that's if the chain doesn't slip.
If you got to take down like big trees and stuff, like I wouldn't trust myself taking down like a big tree. I don't know how to make sure to cut it right so it falls down. But like at my place, I kind of lucked out where, not lucked out. I planned ahead, but like the main part of the range is it's off to like the side of the field, and I built like a big sand dome and put some logs in front of it and stuff, and all that whatever. And then so like the main part where like the ground is even all level and cleared, that's only like 50 yards. But then there's one tree that's kind of in the way, but you just kind of sidestep that. You can back up, and just go like along the clearing next to the old farmhouse. And then that gets you back to, I can't remember, like 150 yards. And then there was like a group of trees, but then behind the group of trees, there was another big clearing. And then there's like 10 acres of woods and then the road. So what I was able to do is through like that middle stretch of those trees, I only had to cut down like 2 or 3 of them. And they were maybe 3-inch diameter, 4-inch diameter, like just small little trees. So I cut a little path through there. And then if I go to like the back edge of just like the natural clearing,
Right.
I'm then like 300 yards away. Like, so I'm shooting through a little like narrow part through the woods, but then it opens back up where the range is. And I can only see about half my berm. So if I back up through there and get the angle just right around like the big trees and just through the ones I cut down, I can shoot at like about half my berm. And I'll put steel target up on that end and just try and ding it from 300 yards away. But I'm not very good. Like, to me, 300 is long range. Like, I'm not even good back that far.
Right.
I've hit it a couple times, but I'm not great.
No, I'm trying, but right now it's just stuck at like 100 yards more or less. Though we can get a few more yards if AWAG moved down here from New Jersey, and he comes over every so often. And we shoot guns, and basically what we do is we get his truck just right at the edge of the property line, and then we just shoot out of the bed of his truck.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah, I also got a Mosin.
Damn, got all sorts of fun stuff.
It's a Chinese Type 53, so it's an M44 Chinese variant, but still, it's still a Mosin.
Well, that confirms what Outcast was saying, that you don't deal with Springfield, just China. So you just proved his point. You're a China guy.
Hey, last year I bought that at Polytech M14, okay? And then just like a week right after I bought that, a Chinese Type 53 M44 Mosin just popped up for $250 in my local area. And for that price, yeah, I couldn't say no on that.
Okay. You're just in love in China. I don't care. I'm not judging.
Hey, just because it's yellow doesn't mean it's magic snow, okay? I'm just telling you that.
I'm not made out of yellow snow. I am magic, but that was very offensive that you would call me yellow snow.
It was very offensive you calling me in the pocket of Big China, okay?
I didn't. I just read what New York Outcast said.
Well, it was offensive nonetheless.
Well, I'm just the host, so be mad at him.
Rob, go eat a salad.
Yeah, eat a salad.
That's another one of his things.
Or whatever.
He's a crazy New Yorker. So what else is going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, just chilling. Gonna go out tonight in a little bit, so just relaxing. But went to the Wings game the other day. That was pretty fun. I ended up losing in overtime, but still, like, it was a good game.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah. Shit, man, you guys make me want to go back to my range and go shoot my guns.
Yeah, sorry.
I got to figure out when I can go.
Or you could just buy a California compliant rifle there and just use that every so often.
Like I said, I want to go to my range and shoot my guns.
You
I mean,
know,
that's like being like, man, I wish I had a car. Well, you can buy this scooter. Like, yeah, that's not what I said. That's not what I want.
yeah, yeah, no. But you could get a 22. That might hold you over.
Yeah, but again, then we still go back to that same problem. Like, if there's no ranges around here. Like, I got to go pretty far just even like find a range.
Yeah, it's
Other than
California.
that police only range that's close enough to my house, I can hear them shooting. Those assholes. It's like you're just showing off. They do a lot of like night training there, like out like dusk, like from dusk till I don't know, like 8 p.m. or something. And just hear them popping off like crazy. I'm
Right.
like, man, I want to go run around outside in the woods at night shooting stuff. They probably got night vision, all sorts of cool things.
I want to go too. Oh wait, I could shoot out at night if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's something I haven't really done that.
I have
Uh,
with AWAC.
Like I definitely could with my setup, but I think most of the time is like when I'm out for Shootapalooza, we start early in the morning. We're shooting all day, and then like by the time kind of evening comes, you've been shooting all day. We'll go eat dinner or whatever, and you always want to have a couple beers with dinner. So then it's like, okay, put all the guns away. Like the shooting part's over, and now it's having dinner, drinking beers, and then lighting off a bonfire. So once it's dark outside, we're sitting around the bonfire drinking. So we'd have to like be like, okay, tonight's going to be the night. We're going to do night shoot stuff. And I mean, you can still go eat dinner and then go back out or whatever. But you're up there in the summer or whatever, like shit, it's not dark till after 10 o'clock. So there's more time to kind of hang out.
Yeah.
It's doable. I mean, it's not like I'm whatever. It's not like I'm an alcoholic. I got to drink or whatever. But it's never worked out that way. We've always tended to be like, okay, we've been shooting for 8 hours. Like that's good enough.
Yeah, before AWAC sold us a night vision set, we did a bit of night vision and you know what was it laser shooting. He had the really bright laser you use at night, and he had night vision, and it's just like he kept hitting the target, and he kept hearing the ping, and I'm like, you don't have someone over there hitting the plate, do you? He's like, nope, that's me, that's all me.
That'd be a fun trick if you're out there shooting with someone like they can't see, and then you just put blanks in it, and then have someone hitting the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
ping,
dude, that's
ping,
1,000 yards away. How are you hitting that in the middle of the night? Because you can't.
right? Oh, that'd be hilarious. So
Yeah, I've never played with night vision.
it's fun. Is it? So from what from what AWAC said, it's expensive. So
Well, it's definitely like getting the stuff's expensive, but then once you have it, you're good to go.
yeah, for some people it's cost prohibitive, and honestly, I don't need it. So I'll just wait until people bring some over.
So over the years, it hasn't got more affordable now that more companies. It's pretty much stayed top tier.
You're still well, for decent night vision. You're still looking at like $1,000 or $2,000 entry level.
Let's say you could get some junky stuff for $100 and then throw it away in a week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of like with scopes and stuff, right? Like a super nice scope is still thousands of dollars, but then you still got like the freaking whatever like Cabela's brand for $50, and that works if you're hunting squirrels with a 22. So like, is there like $100 night vision thing that's out there, and it's just kind of crappy,
Well,
or
remember
maybe
what?
it's not going to work good. Like they just don't even bother because like people won't buy it.
Well, remember, remember what Bob says. Would you rather fight a monkey with a knife or a bear with a 22?
Which one has night vision?
Neither.
I think bears probably have better night vision than monkeys do.
I don't know.
A monkey can clearly hold a knife and stab you. A bear can't fire a gun without luck.
Right.
Yeah, but a bear already has built-in knives into his hand, so he kind of has a knife and a gun at the same time.
That is an extremely valid point right there.
Oh man, you guys are just blowing my mind. Gone.
I'm still thinking about that night vision thing though, because I feel like I've seen not necessarily like for shooting, but I feel like the price of like binocular style like night vision stuff has come down. Like for people that are just like scouting, like for hunting or whatever. I feel like that's gotten down into the few $100 range. But I could just be making that up inside my head. I don't know.
Maybe it has, and maybe I'm just biased. I don't know.
I'm trying to think where I saw that stuff. It might have just been like looking through, like ads, like Black Friday deals or whatever, like clicking around and seeing something that's like night vision spotting scope or whatever. It's like, oh, huh, that's not as expensive as I thought it would be. I'm sure it's not as nice as like the full like good ones. But then again, I tend to think there's crap where like it's cheap and it doesn't cost that much because it's not worth it. And then there's like a level there. It's not the best, but it's kind of good enough for most people, like whatever, close enough. And then there's like really nice for people who need like really good stuff.
Right.
And I tend to fall into if I can get something that's like decent and is like good enough for like most of the time, that's kind of the category I go in. Like with my scopes, I don't have $50 Bushnell scopes on my rifles, but I also don't have $2,000 whatever, name your company. It's like, okay, I'm gonna spend 600, $700. Like it's a good scope. It's not great. It's good, and for me, it's good enough for what I need to do with it. And shit, that Nikon scope I have wasn't that expensive. That thing's awesome.
Best scope that I have came on my Remington 700 varmint rifle.
What kind is that?
I don't know. Dead Horse told me the name of it some couple years back because he was talking about that rifle to me. But it's just whatever came from whatever Remington slapped on top of a million of those rifles as they sold them.
And thank you for saying the name Dead Horse, because that was the dude I was thinking of earlier that also knows a lot.
Yeah,
about
he's like the AR god.
Dead Horse is a really good dude too.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
No, Dead Horse is awesome.
But anyway, that's just closing the loop back in the day of people that know what they're talking about, and I enjoy talking with, even if I have no idea what they're talking about. Dead Horse is in that category.
Wasn't he on Hit or Miss with us a couple times?
Probably. I don't remember. Probably.
I think in the early days where we were talking about AR-15s and whatnot.
But yeah, so going back with like the scopes and stuff. So I have that Nikon on my Ruger American 30-06, and when I went to go buy it, I was looking, and again, that's the same kind of thing. Like the Ruger American, that's nothing to write home about. Like I like it, but it's not like a super fancy. But I had never had a bolt action before. I just wanted something to go hunting, and where I go, my longest shot's going to be a little over 100 yards or something, just from like where I set up and where the deer are going to be. I'm either, definitely under 200, maybe 150, but most of the time it's going to be like 100 yards, maybe a little bit more, a little bit under. Just obviously depending on where the deer are. But so anyway, so I was getting that thing, and they had one that was like, it was like on sale as like a combo where you got the rifle and a scope, and it was like, whatever, some Bushnell kind of thing, which they work. I'm not saying they don't, but it's nothing great. And then I forget, shoot, I wish I could remember all the numbers, but it was like, so I could get that as like the combo, or I could get the rifle without the scope, and that had like a rebate of like $100 or something. So like basically, like the guy at the store was even saying, he's like, get the one without the scope, and then just buy the scope, and you'll save. It was like $100 cheaper than like the combo. I'm like, or I can get the rifle without the scope and get a better scope, put those together, and it's the same price as the combo, but with a decent set of glass. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea. And I'm like, yes, it is. So that's where I'm trying. I don't remember all the numbers, but I feel like that Nikon scope was only a couple $100. Maybe a little bit more. I don't remember. Does anyone out there know how much Nikons go for?
Not
nice.
lately.
And I mean, if I use it like a bunch and I like really got into it, that's one of those things too. Like I can always upgrade the scope from there, and then take that one and put it on, something different that I don't really need a fancy scope for. So I have like a little 17 HMR, and that one, it came with like a cheap ass little thing, and I just left the cheap ass one on there. But it'd be cool to upgrade, like upgrade my 17 HMR, and then upgrade my 30-06. That thing's fun to shoot. That's a fun little gun.
I'd rather shoot 22.
I love the 17 HMR rounds.
Yeah, they're like little laser pointers, man. Like they're so tiny that they shoot good.
It's like somebody left a 223 in the dryer.
Yeah, I remember I got that gun on a whim because my buddy bought one, and then he told me about it. I was like, oh yeah, I got this new thing. There was, I think it was from Cabela's even. It's like, yeah, they're on sale there, and I'm like, oh okay. And I have a Cabela's credit card where you get like cash back on like the stuff you buy or whatever. And he's like, yeah, it's on sale plus like extra bonus points. And then I had bonus points like saved up. So basically, I walked into the store, bought the thing, and with all the extra, points and all the things, like I think I spent, well, $20 out of pocket, and I walked out with the rifle. I'm like, this is basically free if you ignore all the money I spent in the past that let me earn all these points. This is basically free because I already had whatever few $100 worth of points built up. Which I gotta find something to buy. I haven't bought anything from Cabela's in a few years, and I like auto pay all my bills with that credit card, and then just pay the credit card off each month or whatever. So I just get tons of points off that thing.
One way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I gotta pay the electric bill anyways, so why not pay it with a credit card and then pay the credit card off, or you could pay the electric bill with your bank account. Like it's the same thing. And then especially when I was traveling for work, oh man, I had a company card, but you could use a personal card and then just again like expense it. So then you get the money back on your next paycheck. Like you get more money on your paycheck for whatever you spent the thing on, and then you just pay it off. So I'm not getting credit interest because like I know you can get in trouble like using a credit card way too much and having thousands of dollars in debt or whatever. Like you end up with pay all that money back. But yeah, that's genius. The only thing it kind of bummed me out, like because of the way our computer system or whatever, like the travel agent thing was set up, like I couldn't pay for plane tickets with my own card. Like that went directly to like the company's account. So I had to go on to what was that thing called? Concordance or something? I think a lot of businesses use that, but like I had to go through there and then book my plane, but then I could pay for all the other stuff with whichever credit card I wanted. And actually, I never put a rental car on my card either, because I figured if something happens to the rental car, like they can go after the company for it. Like I don't want to have to worry about that. But all the dinner and the hotel room and all that stuff, I put on my personal.
Now, did you drive your truck over there, or did you leave the truck in Michigan?
No, I got my truck.
Okay. That because you didn't mention whether you brought your truck with you.
Yeah, I got to get around.
But you're not going to Uber or Lyft it over there in California because that's all the rage?
Well, dude, I use Uber all the time, but like I got to go to work every day. I'm not going to Uber to work every day.
Right.
So yeah, I got my truck out here. But also, I'm just catching up with the chat here. We got gun websites out there.
Yeah.
I know he has a link.
It's in the description of the chat. Come on, guys.
It's in the description of the chat. I've posted in the chat. And I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones I sent the email to. So he definitely has the link.
I mean, I snuck in here through the back door because that's just how I roll.
But, you know, he could be busy doing stuff too. I'm not going to shame him into joining. But he's a pretty bad person if he doesn't join. But no shame. So what's this, a 22 HMR? Is that a thing?
Yeah, 22 HMR.
What's that like? I mean, obviously it's a 22, but like, what makes it?
Honestly, I don't understand why they needed it.
Is it like the 17 HMR where it's like neck down from something bigger, or is it similar to like 22 mag where it's just?
I think it's just another way to say 22 mag.
Oh, well then I know what it is because I have a 22 mag.
There's 22. You call it 22 mag, 22 WMR. Same thing.
Okay, so that's just a different way of saying it. Yeah, I have a 20 mag. That's what I have, a PMR 30. It's a handgun that holds 30 rounds of 22 mag. Thing's awesome. I know lots of people hate on Caltech, but it's like, I don't know if people get put in a mindset where like all they think about is like concealed carry or home defense or whatever. And they're like, oh, Caltech, would you trust your life with it, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I probably wouldn't. Although that being said, I've never had a problem with mine. It's worked every time I've pulled the trigger. But there's also other things you can have guns for. And that's one that I just really like. And I kind of like Caltech as a company for making stuff that no one else does. Some of it's gimmicky, some of it's weird, some of it's kind of cool. So you can never say they didn't try. Like they're at least trying new stuff.
Oh, they tried all right. Whether they succeeded, that's a whole entirely different thing.
Well, I like the PMR 30. I like that. What's the shotgun thing that's like weird looking? I like that thing.
The RDB?
Okay, if you say so.
It's like it's either the Keltec RDB or is it the KSG?
That's K1. KSG. I'm gonna eat a cookie.
Oh, that's for you. We should be eating a salad.
What a good cookie.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta run.
All right.
Nice
Later,
talking to you guys. Everybody have a good evening.
You too.
Yep. Take it easy, man.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks for being an early adopter, jumping in.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thanks for going live. I had a good time.
Later.
See ya.
And then there were two.
I wonder what's going to be new at SHOT Show.
Don't know. I'm not going. Like always.
Yeah, but I feel like, and maybe obviously I'm not as tuned in as I have been in past years. Like I still watch some stuff, but like I feel like normally, like the week or even a few weeks before SHOT, like at least people like know what's gonna be there, and then because you have all these people like making videos of like what they want to check out the most, like I want
this year everything's been pretty dark.
Yeah, I haven't seen very many of like what people are looking forward to checking out. I'm sure it exists if you dig or whatever, but
I hate to say it, but I've been talking with some people, and some people seem to think that we've kind of hit that lull in firearms innovation, where new stuff comes out isn't really innovative anymore. It's just either a rehashing of something old, or it's just a different way of doing something that's already existing. Which I guess is rehashing, but still.
Yeah, well, in one way, it's like that kind of makes sense because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing.
Right.
Kind of like when like new cars come out, and you'd be like, "Oh, this one has 4 tires like the other one does," and oh, there's a steering wheel, and there's an engine, and there's like, oh, what you're gonna do? Put seats in it with a seatbelt? That's the same thing everyone else does. But at the same time, you can like tweak it and do little things, and then you have stuff like, I guess what you're saying is maybe they're like the electric vehicle, like it's still a car, but it's like way different way of doing a car, and then the possibilities of that, like you can do different stuff with it, like different features and all this stuff. So
and people were saying, "Oh, electric cars are new. It's a new thing," and it's like, no, it's not. They had electric cars back in like the early days of car history. Because guess what? They had electric cars back at like the turn of the century when cars came out.
Yeah, but also it's new in the way that like
it runs off of lithium ion batteries now instead of lead acid batteries, but still they had
not even just that. Yeah, but and that's because of that technology though, is that they like can now compete. You know what I mean? Like now
they can compete better. I get that.
For someone to just have like a Tesla Model 3 and then their neighbor has a freaking whatever, like a Toyota something or other. Like it's just they're almost the same. Like you can
don't you badmouth my Toyota, okay?
I wasn't, but I'm just saying, like it. So that's the part of new. Whereas before, like the internal combustion engine was really the way to go, and range anxiety is still a big thing. It's part of the reason I don't have an electric car, because like I think about my day to day, like I charge my car up, like I can go home and like go to work and come back home and like run around, do errands or whatever, and it'd be fine. And I can charge it up overnight and it's ready for the next day and I'm good. But the what ifs, one being like, what if for whatever reason I got to drive across the country? It's doable. Yeah. Like, but there's not as many charging stations or whatever. And then even not even going that crazy, what if it's like, well, you go to work one day and then you end up going over to your buddy's house on the way home from work, and then you end up going someplace else, and then you spend the night there, and then you got to go somewhere else in the morning, and then it was with a regular car, if you drove a whole bunch more than you thought you were going to, it'd take an extra 5 minutes, pop off at the gas station, boom, fill up, and then you keep going whatever you were doing. Where here, it's like, well, you got to plan ahead, and if you end up not staying at your house that night or doing whatever, you can't charge, and then you don't have enough to get to work. You got to get up extra early so you can get to the charging station before you get to work, or whatever, like, because it does take at least 15 minutes to get you a half charge or whatever. And it's just, I don't know, it's just different, right? So as soon as there's charging stations as close as every gas station there is, that's going to help like some people change their mind and be like, okay, we're good.
Actually, there is. I don't know if you heard, but literally almost every Walmart in the country these days has a charging station in their parking lot.
Okay. But you can't tell me, I mean,
and considering there's a Walmart off of every interstate in the country,
Yeah, but not off of every exit. There's a gas station off of every exit of every interstate in the country.
Oh,
like
there's a Walmart off of every third exit.
Okay. I disagree. It definitely, there are more now than there used to be. But there's still some, there are definitely some dead zones. And if you get stuck in the dead zone, like, you can be screwed.
It's on you, yeah.
And that's also if you mess up and, your car runs out of charge on the side of the highway, you can't just bum a ride from your buddy, get a gallon of gas, and fill it back up like you could now. So, I don't know. It is what it is, right? It's just different. And I was just trying to be an analogy of, in the gun world, we've been cruising with the internal combustion engine for a long time and tweaking it and doing little things here and there, but maybe there hasn't been a big shift of like some brand new way of doing it. Because at the end of the day, a firearm is a tube with an explosion inside it. So there's not much more you need to do anyways. Like it's a tube with some explosions inside it. Like, how else are you going to make it fancy? But that's where, again, I'll give Caltech some credit for at least trying. So there is some innovative stuff. Oh, I have is this a person I know? It is a person I know.
Enrique.
It's a G-Webs.
Uh-oh, there's a G-Webs. Watch out. Watch out for the most famous hands on YouTube.
Hey, I've got this ear thing. This is from, where can I get this in focus? This is off of an old headset.
Yeah.
Can anybody use this? It's still in good shape.
No, I think you're good.
You sure? I could send this to you.
No,
$16 shipping. And then
yeah.
you could probably, if you wanted to, you could clean it, I guess. But it's in good shape. It's come out of this bag.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, a little Kirby thing. This is probably to go over your ear. That'd look comfortable. How would you like to wear that all day?
No.
Having people yell at you. I bet you it jammed into here, maybe. Let's just say it jams into here. No, it doesn't jam in there. Anyway, I'm sorting out. What are these things called?
All your old electronics?
Nah. What do you call these things? Transformers?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had this giant gross box of them, and I needed a 12 volt, and I knew there was one. So this is 6s. These are 5s. Those are the 9s. I went in and sorted them all. I'm going to put them all into like gallon bags. Anyway, so I figured I'd jump in here while I'm taking this time to sort.
Cool.
Are these transformers or transistors when they go from power to from the wall
I think those are transformer bricks.
Yeah, just transformers. So
because they go from AC to DC.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just throw them in a box, right? Because you get them all the time. So you throw some away or you see them. I just keep them. And now I've got them in this whole pile is 6. That's the most I've got probably from old days of, things that replaced batteries. But now I got a bunch of them from cameras that are like 4 to 7. Well, I should say 4 to 6. Then I got a couple of 7s, some 9s. And then anyway, so now I kind of know. I've always had them in this box. Now I kind of know what they are. Of course, day before SHOT Show, I get to do this. Basically, I found a rechargeable flashlight that I found literally on the side of the road. And I knew I had all these, so I've been looking. I think I found one that seems to have matched it, but I'm checking the user manual on mine. What? I
thought you were going to SHOT.
Yeah, I said I'm charging a light that I found on the side of the road, though. Like a LED, kind of like a troubleshooting light, like you'd use if like your car broke down or something. It's got like a
Right.
bunch of LEDs. It's super rugged, and I just found it probably fell out of somebody's truck or something. So I'm trying to figure out a way to charge it, basically.
Yeah, and that's most of that stuff. Like you can, if you can jam it in there, it'll work. You just gotta double check the amps or whatever. Like even if it's the right volts, you have to make sure that the charger doesn't like have too many amps or whatever.
Yeah, see, that's what happened. I have all of these. I have one that's 12 that's the wrong like hole. And I'm guessing the wrong hole is probably polarity. Like when the hole is really tiny, I didn't want to jam it on there. I'm thinking that's where it's positive and negative mixed, I guess. But anyway, that one was 12 volts, 8 amps, and it wants 12 volt 5. And then I found one, just the last one, almost the last one I found in this whole box was in a box. And I opened the box and it was a 12 volt 1 amp. So it'll take a lot longer to charge, but at least it plugged in and it's charging. So at least I think it's charging, or it's getting ready to catch fire. But one of the two, I think I'm charging it slowly right now.
Yeah, it should be charging. That's the thing. If you're gonna err on the side, like not match up, it's better to be less amps and just take longer than too many amps and get too hot.
Or blow it out or something, right? I imagine you could probably blow out something in there if you put in too many.
Yeah. Everybody's quiet now.
Anyhow, I can tell you that I've seen chargers pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to agree with kind of both of you that I don't know if they're in every Walmart. I don't look, but I wouldn't be surprised because Walmart does that kind of stuff and is capable of it. But
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of Walmarts. There are, well, keep in mind, there's also, what do you call those smaller type of Walmarts? And
Yeah,
then
the
there's
grocery
big
stores.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, then there's that, yeah. But there's
Market Fresh.
another kind of little one. I don't know what the other one is called, but in some cities, there's another kind of little Walmart. And then there's the old Walmarts that aren't super Walmarts still, like haven't been converted. And I'll bet you those get ignored. And I'm thinking there's not that many regular, like just, I don't know what to call them, like medium Walmarts anymore that aren't superstores or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those are franchises or what's going on, but anyway,
Most
so
of them have been converted to supers.
I bet you there's charging stations pretty much everywhere. And the worst case that happens is, don't they got something equivalent to a tow truck that comes out and charges you on the spot?
They should.
Like wherever you fail, like they'll come and charge.
There are some, like, I don't know, whatever, some companies that are kind of starting up to do things like that. I don't know how many like trucks they own that have the battery power or whatever. Like I said, I'm not shitting on the idea of electric cars or whatever. I was just
Do
going
they
down.
have like a recumbent bike type of thing where you could, either like have it pop out by the feet where your pedals would be and have it pop out on both sides or even in the back, or some kind of a bike pump where you pump on it to create energy, like a shake weight. And then you could just be sitting there shake weighting and pumping and pedaling and stuff. And then you're just having a fit. And then by the time your thing's charged, you could take a nap and let it robot drive you wherever you're going to the next one.
How about like, if you're out in somewhere where you get a lot of sun, how about an emergency solar panel charger?
Well, do they put panels on top of these things? Do people do that as a mod, or is that a feature? Because I would think that would be like just even if it's not super efficient, just to do it. Why not put a battery on or put a solar panel on the roof? Or it's a glass roof, huh?
Yeah, it's all glass, so it wouldn't come from the factory with any kind of solar. But that's something that I've always thought, especially since Tesla has they have the solar roof. Like they learned how to make those like the tile panels that aren't like big ass like giant things. Like those things are rugged.
They're not glass. They're
shaky.
opaque, though. I've seen them and they're opaque. Like you're definitely not getting any light through them, let alone seeing through them or anything. But you're right. It could make the roof out of a giant piece of that, like an old Volkswagen roof, right? And just bolt it on and plug it in.
Well, yeah, or even like replace the hood with that. Like they could probably make a hood that was the same shape, and then it just happened to be a solar panel. And you're right, it's not going to be super efficient. But what if you only drive your Tesla once a week or something? Like a lot of people have these as their second car, third car, or whatever.
Yep.
And you leave it parked on the street for few days, and then
It's just
it's
a
like,
solar panel in the system all that time. Well, the thing is, when you leave a Tesla parked on the side of the road, it's a set of eyes for all the other Teslas, right? Like it's watching the road and being in another view because it's like a hive brain or something, is from what I understand. Like they're all looking through each other's cameras. So if there's a question, they can look at all the other Teslas and go, oh no, that, from like 3 different angles, if there's 3 different Teslas there, and determine things. Or am I crazy? But I thought I'd seen that they have that technology so that they learn, like, oh, is that a kid? Let me check 3 different Teslas. Okay, we all our algorithms say that's a kid. Now that's a kid from now on. I thought
yeah.
that's
So
AI learns.
you're like kind of right. I don't think it's that the cars are necessarily talking to each other in that sense, but they
Well, no,
are.
the cars are just a bunch of eyes. The hive mind, though, will say, I need to look through this car and that car, and now I know what I'm looking at from 2 different angles. Like it's like that aware or whatever, right?
Right, but I'm not 100% sure, but it's like they do that, but that's just data for like the training of the AI. So it's not like the hive mind is going, I wonder what's at the corner of 32nd and Main Street. Oh, this car's near it. Let me look at it. It's just getting in like some raw data going, huh, what the heck did that just walk in front of? And then, the programmers or whatever be like, that was a bicycle. And it goes, oh, now I know what bicycles look like. Cool, thanks. And then it keeps looking at all the other stuff and go, oh, I've seen that thing on the sidewalk before. That's a
Do you
bicycle.
know that
And so
it's not really programmers, it's all the captures out there. So when it says, I wonder what this is, I'm going to ask everybody who's logging onto a computer right now and needs a capture, like, and then they go, is this a stoplight? And then that's what happens, right?
I mean, I think so. It's
At least that's what I've heard. That's why back in the day when they were still reading all the books on the planet, it would be like, which one's a letter G if you're such a human or whatever? Which one of these is a letter H then? Okay, thanks, human. They'd ask like 15 humans, and if they all agreed, then the robots know what a letter H looks like in like whatever script that was.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's certainly the Terminators are certainly learning what all of our stuff is. But that's one of the reasons why like Tesla, as far as their self-driving, is head and shoulders above everybody else, like that are just getting into the market, because they have, I don't even know, quadrillions of terabytes of data of, because especially it's when people are driving, and then if they're using the autopilot and then someone has to like hit the brakes or jerk the steering wheel or whatever, that's always analyzed by the computer like after the fact, of basically being like, well, I thought I was doing the right thing, but this dude told me I was doing the wrong thing. So why did the driver say I'm doing the wrong thing? And then it figures out like, oh, that orange thing in front of him, he had to slam on the brakes because that's a stop sign. I was going to go through it.
Oh, that's
Like
a
they know how to,
baby. Okay.
yeah. So that's why we swerved around that thing. Okay, cool. Don't hit those.
Humans like babies. All right, now I get it.
So it just has, how many hours worth of that kind of stuff as training? Like, so, hi, buddy. My dog just licked me, like, literally right in the eyeball. That was unacceptable.
Well, is that your fault for having an eyeball right in his face, or is it his fault for seeing an eyeball right in front of him?
I mean, considering that he went from facing the other way on the bed to like pretty much standing on my chest and then licking my eyeball, I wouldn't say that's my fault for having an eyeball in his face. It's his fault for putting his face near my eyeball and then deciding to lick it. That's okay. I'll pet you anyways. I'll scratch your ears. So now that we have someone in here who's going to SHOT Show, have you seen anything that you're excited to go look at, G-Webs?
Well, my answer is I'm there to see the new layout because they changed the layout from its 12-year kind of developing layout or whatever you'd call it. And then curious to see how people could react to that or whatever. Here's the light thing I got for nothing. Curious to see how people react to that, because it's going to be a whole bunch of people that are used to the show. It's been there for 12 years and almost the same layout, and they just checked that all around. So that part's going to be curious to see who all. I don't think very many people are going to adapt to that, so that's going to be interesting. And then, of course, with all the craziness of this particular year, it'll be curious to see how everybody, adapts and overcomes to that ridiculousness.
Yeah. Well, that's what I figured. And I know you like going to the show to focus too on like 2A stuff and talk with people and like kind of get a feel for that kind of stuff. You're not.
Did you see the poster thing that I posted earlier? Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Did you see the poster that I posted earlier?
Yeah, I saw that with all your 2A people. Try and get them signed.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what I did with the cards, right? The only person I can think of is that hasn't signed the cards though is Banshee, and I don't even know if he was ever in Gun Channels actually, but you know what I mean, because I still have the poster with all the playing cards on it that all the Gun Channels people signed, but I was just sitting here going, dang it, you know what? I'm going to bring that poster with me, and then I'm just going to bring a fine sharper, what they call it, a fine point Sharpie, so that it doesn't, look all goofy, like wrong proportion for all the signatures. Anyway, so that's going to be my challenge. Go around and try to find as many of those people as I can, tuck them in to sign in that thing, then scan those and make a bunch of checks, and then make a bunch of fake checks. Rich suckers. And then gun shops, going to check out gun shops. Trying to get the word out to some of the shops I visited, and some of the shops I know are like super cool. See if they're going, and then chat with them there. Set up a time to have an interview later on in the year, and then start interviewing gun shops about different things. And then as far as stuff on the table, that stupid smart gun. Curious to go over there and see. I think somebody said there's 2 smart guns. I know there's one because I've seen the table for it, and I know exactly where it is, and it's right in front. So I'm curious to see, what's their point of view? What are they trying to prove? What do they think they're going to do? And why would they possibly think they could show up at SHOT Show and everybody's going to be okay with that? Like that's going to be an interesting one, especially in 2022. I mean, I guess I could see somebody could bumble into that in 1997 before there was laws, but now, I don't understand.
And that's the thing too. Like whether the thing works amazing or doesn't or whatever, like that's a completely different issue. My biggest problem with like smart guns is the opening of the legislative angle, where it's like once they quote unquote work or prove that they work, and then you start getting laws where you can only have smart guns. Like that's where the problem is, right? I'm not against them as a thing. I would not own one, but if other people want to own one and other people want to make one, like, sure, knock yourself out. Like, I really don't care. If there was never any laws about like you have to have them.
Yeah. Well, my whole problem is with smart guns is they're not actually trying to make them smart. Like, how the transition from the brick Motorola cell phone to the smartphone, where the smartphone actually got features added on. No, with the smart guns, they're taking features away, yet they're calling it a smart gun.
Well, I mean, that's just marketing, but not necessarily. They are adding a feature. They are adding a user authentication system.
And if that breaks, that user can't use it.
Well, maybe not. Like I said, maybe it fucking works perfect. So, I mean, I would be curious too, though, G-Webs, if you go and talk with them. Like, I can't figure this. I just read an article, right? And that's where I saw that there were like 2 new ones that are recently popping out. I didn't know they were going to be at SHOT, so that'd be cool, especially if both of them were there. Maybe they have different opinions. but I got the impression just from like reading the article about them was it's like I almost feel like they're like tech nerds that just happen to be putting their tech into a gun. Like I don't think they're necessarily like gun people. So I'd just be curious their point of view or their like where they fit in the industry as a whole. Is it something where like some tech people heard a buzzword from a Bloomberg article like, oh, fingerprint reader, shit, we're good at that. We're gonna do a startup and make a thing and become billionaires.
Yep, that's the only possible explanation. Otherwise, they're against. Well, otherwise they're working from some other state against us, like another country against us. So I can imagine. Because how could you be that oblivious in 2022? I guess it would be tough to even give them the point of view that you're trying to suggest, which has got to be the only like the only positive way to put it, right? Like it's
like they're naive versus being malicious.
I had a great idea. I'm a great fingerprint identification electronics wizard, and I heard this on a Bloomberg article. I got a great idea. I need to go get a gun. First gun person you go to and say, I need a gun. Okay, what kind do you want? One that I can put electronic fingerprint reader into. That's the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, who are you going to get a gun from unless you were like, oh, I'm just going to go find the 3D prints to a gun and just act like a gun is just the shape. So I can just 3D print the shape and then I'll just adapt all my tech. Like, somehow like that. Are you saying like they just never talked to the industry at all and then wandered in the SHOT Show? Like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. Go to this SHOT Show and then I'll be a hero. Let me sign up. But still, like, nobody at SHOT Show is like, you want to do what?
Well, they may be sitting back for the lulz. Be like, yeah.
They're the industry. They're not like
right at the front door.
Venue. They're not an entertainment venue, though. They're like an industry liaison. So, I mean, they to some extent, they've got to do things. Here's where it is, I thought. I've seen it right over here somewhere.
Be like, oh, because I mean, the people that are setting up SHOT are humans, and me as a human, I know if I was in that position and that company came to me like, we got this new smart gun, we want to show it off at SHOT Show. I'll be like, cool story. Hey, you want the booth right next to the Second Amendment Foundation? Like, this will be awesome.
Let me put in smart. Let's see what happens. Smart Firearms Training Devices, Smart Guns LLC. This is the one I think I thought it. Oh yeah, look at that. Smart Guns provide you with true. Do I mind if I read this?
Go for it.
Smart Guns provides you with true peace of mind. Protect yourself and family members from home intruders and predators. Okay, protects you and your loved ones from accidental firearms shootings and suicide attempts. Amazing. The 9mm 1911, of course. Civilian, of course, you got to write that in there. $1,900. Civilian home defense package includes one 9mm 1911, of course, Century firearm. One Century magazine with rechargeable battery power source. RFID tag security deployment options, including a index finger ring that can be sized to your specific finger, narrow, narrower, and narrowest. One USB wall charger with recharging cable, wireless recharging capability, and storage case. And all law enforcement organizations who receive a $200 discount. So you're basically, it's almost free. It's only $1,700 for law enforcement. It's only the price of like 4 other guns. It's basically free. And law enforcement get a glove opt-in, which, why edit all the words? With just a $1,900 gun, words editing is not important. It includes a pair of Pioneer clutch gloves. RFID tag right in the right-handed glove, because left-handed people, 1, don't deserve a gun. 2, don't need to defend themselves. 3, aren't going to defend anybody else. 4, can't handle 9mm. 5, shouldn't even have a gun. 6, what is this? It's got a dovetail in the back.
On that note, I'm not going to take this condescension sitting down. I'm leaving.
This is the Smart Guns LLC. I'm just reading what's on the thing. And then there's no sights because you don't need sights when you're got a home defender package.
Smart.
Oh my goodness. So Yeah, look it's got
And
a
a nice like leaf.
lights up, so that's how you know it's smart and safe. I can't imagine why they would be there, and they're in the law enforcement room right in front. It's got a buffalo on it. Smart Guns LLC. Can't even.
Yeah, that's the article I saw that they were going to partner with law enforcement. I'm like, yeah, good luck getting cops to be your guinea pigs.
Oh, police chiefs of police will do it.
Yeah, but the people are going to be like, you're issuing me what? Yeah, I'm suing you for trying to kill me. Like that's endangerment.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like the officers would be like, no way.
Unless it's like an officer with, there are plenty of them that are whatever, small little town, never deal with anything, and they just be like, I'm just gonna carry my own one anyways because no one's gonna know the difference.
Here's the link to whoever wants to see the floor pan thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing that booth.
So that's definitely a booth that I've seen when I was
No.
looking around in here that is like, oh yeah, I got to go there and check that out. But it'll probably be one of those things if you don't check it out in the first little bit, they'll figure out how stupid they were and they'll leave or quit. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be there very long. I suspect there's been other times where if you didn't catch something quick, the ATF will come over and be like, this is illegal. You're not going to sell this in our country. And then they'll be like, oh shit. And they'll take it down. I can think of a couple of times foreign companies will bring a gun in and go, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Especially now that the internet, and then it gets around, and then because back in the old days, you could bring a gun in if the ATF didn't actually see it and no one actually talked about it right then. Imagine you could go to SHOT Show, bring like the one I'm thinking of was a 20 gauge shot, 20 gauge governor. No, 20 gauge judge. And you can't make a 20 gauge judge for some reason. So,
If it's too big diameter or whatever.
I guess so. I don't remember what the deal was, but it was a 20-inch judge or a 20 gauge judge, and they had it on a table, and I was like, dang, that's cool. I got pictures of it. Oh, wait, did I? I think I got pictures of it, but bad pictures. And I was going to go up there and get like better video or something, and it was gone already. And I was like, dang it. I think that's how it went. Or I'm thinking of a different giant judge, which may be because I never really paid that much attention to the judges, except when they first came out. But anyway, that was one that I can think of where I did see it and I didn't think nothing of it. And I was like, oh, I'll come back later. And then I never had a chance to because it was gone and they wouldn't show it to you anymore. And then there was some couple of rifles like that. Like when they were, now that mare's legs are okay, like for a minute there, people were getting their receivers to make mare legs pistols. And people would be like, oh, that's not a legit way to get a receiver. Like you can do it this way, but not that way. And they'd be like, oh, okay. So those kind of things, I think, were the other, like you can't just manufacture a short pistol and import it. And they see other people doing it and they don't understand our convolutedness or whatever. But anyway, can you imagine going there? And in the past, you could literally bring something in that was skeptical or what's the word, like questionable. And then if nobody actually questioned you on it, you might go ahead and get to some level of production before the ATF is like, who told you could make this? Not in our country. Like probably when you actually came to import it, they'd be like, what are you doing? What are you even asking us to import this? You can't import this for like 6 different reasons. And then they'd be like, oh, crap. But anyway, nowadays,
But we showed it to you at SHOT Show.
Huh?
But we showed it to you at SHOT Show. And it's like, yeah, no one knew that we have all these convoluted laws. Like the people there looking are like, yeah, this thing's neat.
Yeah, bring it. Like, well, I've never seen anything like it. This will be awesome. This is a cutting edge, revolutionary. Never been done. Anyway, I can't stay too much longer. I came in here to change that or figure out a charger for that light. I got a million things I'm doing though. So I'm now sitting here doing nothing when I should be doing all kinds of stuff. So I'll leave you hanging unless you're going to be ending it, and then I'll end it with you. Otherwise, I'm jumping out also. I don't know if anybody else is going to jump in.
I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I've been doing it for 2 hours, and I got to go out anyway.
So it looks like Barbecue is doing a chat later, and Oh, Echo does a chat today. Have you ever watched Echo's chats?
No.
So Echo's reloading chamber. Remember Dead Horse?
Yeah.
So Dead Horse is having. I'll tell you off air. And then he used to hang out with Echo, a dude in Florida, and chat about reloading. And then Echo kind of took the baton as Dead Horse. It hasn't been chatting live, and then Echo's got a couple of people that join him, and now they do kind of a regular live lobby kind of thing, except focused on reloading and fostering new reloaders into Q&A type of stuff mostly. So anyway, that's on Fridays also, and then I got the weekly wrap up, and then barbecue is corking off of me. There's corking is after corking me tonight, and then I think that's about it for tonight.
Well, rock on. Sounds like that's got a lot of good options to watch.
I don't know who all is watching, but now they know what else is on tonight.
Yep. Well, don't worry. This video is going to get thousands of people. So, anyways, for everyone who is watching live, thanks for keeping me company, and the people jumping in, thanks for jumping in and talking to me. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and shall not be infringed.